and this is where I'm thinking, and you've probably seen this with all your interviews that you've done, is that one of the decisions is that leadership is not what you do, it's who you are.
I love it.
I'm sure that is what you've seen. So if we look at, something that you've said, which is when I introduced you, you talk about sales leadership and helping sales leaders go from competent to truly exceptional.
Yeah.
What prevents them from taking that leap?
Often, and I'll say it, often themselves, but it's not necessary. They're not necessarily aware that it's themselves, because we are all models of, well, I talk a lot about modeling excellence, but we model everybody and everything around us. And at the risk of sounding, the blind leading the blind, this is what happens in a lot of organizations. And you have sales leaders that are placed in positions where they didn't necessarily ask to be placed in that role. It was anointed upon them because they were a great individual contributor, but they weren't necessarily given the toolkit, the strategies, the thinking, the modeling to make that transition. Because going from an individual contributor where you are responsible for your own results, you get the accolades, to now have the responsibility for perhaps having maybe 5, 10, depending on the size of the sales team, 15 people who are also individually responsible for the results, but you now have to try to get them into an ecosystem of high performance. For many, it's a very difficult transition, because no longer is the spotlight directly on you.